Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Woke Witch Tarot for another timeless pick a card reading. I am so glad to be posting another pick a card reading here to the channel. This time about a more serious subject, right? Now, next week, I am going to be doing another Future Spouse Week, some highly requested videos. So starting on Monday, we're going to go back to some lighthearted stuff, some stuff about love, right? But in this particular video, I felt compelled to do something a little bit more about the shadow, a little bit more about the serious work and the introspective questions that we have for ourselves on our paths throughout this journey and our paths through our ascension. This particular video is going to be focused on the biggest regret on your current trajectory that you will have at the end of your life. I want to preface this reading by saying that, as I always say in these videos, fate is not final, right? So this video isn't meant to scare you. It's not meant to make you sad or make you feel like there's something to fear. It's more a reckoning, right? A moment of honest truth that you can have with yourself about how our actions today might lead us down a path in the future that we are not happy with and what that entails for us, okay? So it's meant to be a springboard for positive change. Not one that is one of condemnation or where you feel like this is where you're headed. This is where you're headed if you don't make any changes, okay? So as they say, act accordingly, right? Act according to the future that you want for yourself. I've got 3 piles for you to pick from for today's pick a card. As you know, these are general readings, so they're not going to resonate with everybody. If you would like a personal reading, I'd be more than honored to help you with that on my website at wokewitchtarot.com. For today, though, 3 piles to pick from. Pile number 1 is this white flower. Pile number 2 is this rose here at the center. And pile number 3 is this pink flower, a bit of a pinkish purplish carnation that was dried. Okay, so again, pile 1, 2, or 3. When you have found the pile that resonates the most with you, feel free to either fast forward to the timestamps that I have listed up above on the left-hand corner, or that I have pinned in the pinned comment down below. I will see you on the side of whichever pile you've picked. Pile number 1. If you picked this white daisy, then this is the reading for you on what it is that is going to be your biggest regret at the end of your life. I want to preface this reading, right? For those of you that have a hard time with readings like this, you don't have to watch this particular one. I can understand how it could trigger some people, right? This is not to bring you any kind of despair. It's to get you to think introspectively about the path that you're on and destinations that you'll head to if you don't switch course. This is all about taking your own power and shifting the direction of your life if you know that it is headed somewhere that you do not want to be. So please use this as a source of inspiration, not as one to beat yourself down with, okay? As I always say, fate is not final. At any moment, you can decide to make a change and to shift into a different direction. That is what this reading is about. So let's see for you, for pile number 1, please. For pile number 1, what is the biggest regret? For pile number 1 at the end of their life, please. For pile number 1, what is the biggest regret? For pile number 1 at the end of their life, please. Sageness. Okay, very nice. I'm going to pull the book on you for these particular cards. This is the Oracle card that you have chosen. There's so much here about clearing energy, about letting things go. I think for some of you that are watching this pile, you feel very uniquely tied to wounds and trauma from past lives. That pinnacle, right, of when you can define, like, yes, this is the thing that I know that I committed to letting go in this particular incarnation, right? I get a sense here of really stepping into your power and learning to release that. Like, this is it. This is the life that I'm going to be doing that in. There's so much about letting go of the past, about clearing past energy here, about not becoming somebody that is almost like a victim to circumstance, a victim to old emotions, to old situations, okay? Releasing all of that in order to step into newness, in order to step into your new power, okay? Some of you are gifted. Some of you know that you have reached a point of your ascension, and you're a bit stuck in how it is that you actually access that you actually use your gifts and your powers, not just to make the world better, right? To aid the collective, but to get you to a place where you feel like, okay, I am using the gifts and the powers that I have in a really positive way and fully harnessing them. Here is the card that you picked for our screenshotters. Sageness. Supreme accomplishments come through the ancient of wisdom. Through the process of observance and contemplation, a path is formed and a union with the cosmic cycle is created. Powerful encoded realms open up into sanctuaries of clarity and meaning, where thoughts and actions take on deep significance. Sageness is the achievement of the living consciousness, which is profoundly in touch with an ancestral subconscious, and together they form the supraconsciousness, an incarnation of the self called forth from the beginning of time in this circular dance of life. Your key words here are beginning, unity, duration, generative, and sublime. There's so much energy here about learning to embrace certain things from your ancestral past. For some of you, I feel that this is connected directly to the family that you are surrounded with right now. What is it that I can learn from the family that I have? And what is it that I need to let go of? What ancestral views are actually holding me back from what it is that I am meant to achieve in this lifetime? The card of strength coming up here for you. In other words, in some instances, right, we can absolutely learn things from our parents, learn things from our ancestors, and all of these things are blessings. They're blessings in the sense that it gives us a unique perspective, a different lens in which to look for solutions in our lives, but also sometimes they can be a crutch. So for example, if you're a part of a family where the only way to ever be considered a success is to become a doctor, and you don't like the sight of blood, you don't like dealing with people, you feel like you want to be an artist, or you feel like you want to just own a farm and make vegan products or something like that, right? To live out in the wilderness and to do something completely different from what it is that your family, your ancestors, society expects from you. This is absolutely the pile for you. I feel a sense of trying to break through the idea of sage in and of itself, right? Like you're trying to sage yourself. You're trying to sage your space almost, your mental clarity. How can I clear out all of the old ideas, old haunts, old wants I'm getting here as well, to really uniquely come into your own. You've pulled strength and transmute. You could be a Leo, or you could certainly be a Scorpio as well. And at the bottom of the deck here, you also have the card of boundaries. There's a sense here of very, very much falling into a protective state. Learning, okay, I know what I need to know from this experience or from this person. Now I need to take the next step. and figure out how it is that that knowledge applies to me, how it is that this knowledge changes my life, my perspective, my view of what my future path is. This doesn't mean that I need to take that knowledge and replicate it. It doesn't mean that if my father was a lawyer and in order to be successful, now all I can think about is becoming a lawyer, even though I know that that's not what I want in my life. With the boundaries card here, you're learning, okay, here's what I can take, like a sift, like a colander. Here's what I'm taking the meat and the potatoes of this situation and I'm letting the rest drain. Only the stuff that applies to me, that can grow me towards my true path, is the stuff that I'm holding on to. Okay? And you're learning to set up boundaries in this way, partly to protect yourself, your emotions, right? Your thoughts going forward. I'm getting your own magic here, but also I think to protect the magic itself. Like, you realize that there's something incredibly special about you and about your path, and you understand that in order to have certain things in your life, we have to protect them. Now, sacred sexuality has shown up here underneath the boundaries card for some of you. This could be this idea of understanding that, you know what, I don't feel like I was born in the right body, or I am attracted to the same sex, and I want to live that life truly and not hide and not be right, not be interested in being who it is that I truly feel on the inside, loving who it is that I truly feel like I want to love on the inside, because my family would look down on that, society would look down on that. There's a sense of breaking free. So you have strength here. It's interesting that all of this energy of ancestry has shown up in your particular spread, because I see here with all of these roots, right? Your growth is based off of things that have been set in motion long before you even got here. Okay, long before you even decided, I'm going to take shape, I'm going to take form, I'm going to be a living, breathing human being. There's so much about your path that was set in regards to your ancestors, in regards to things that happened before you were even here, the way that societies were formed before you even landed, okay? And there's a sense here that if we are to grow into our own beautiful, unique, and intricate pattern, we have to take only the sustenance from the things of the past and then transmute them, change them, alter them, like an alchemist here, right? Change them and alter them in a way, using your intuition, using that third eye, right? Using all of your gifts in order to say, okay, this is for me and this is not. This is the way that I'm choosing to adapt the knowledge that I have, the experiences that I have going forward. I'm going to have the strength to grow in my own direction. And a part of that requires sacrifice. Everybody wants to live authentically themselves, but some of the stuff that we don't see in the shadow of that is how difficult it is to be unique in a world that tells you to be just like everybody else. And so when we look at this foliage, you can sense here the things that are dangling from that. They are pieces of the self. They are teeth. They are things about our old selves, like dead skin that we're sloughing off here in order to become our own self, to let go of old cycles, particularly for those that feel like they grew up with a little bit of a lack of love, a little bit of, for example, parents that didn't pay attention to you, right? Families that excommunicated you, or families that were abusive, households that were abusive, okay? You're learning to gain the strength from that. What did you learn from that experience? I learned that I can survive being alone, right? I learned that I should not beg for love from people that are broken and incapable of love, that it is not my fault that I was not loved growing up, because the people that I was around were not ready for love. they didn't love themselves. How could they love me, right? There's a sense here of, okay, all of these horrible things happened. Now, what is it that I do with that? How do I transmute that into a new cycle to weave my own future, my own destiny, my own fate here? I don't have to continue this cycle. I get a generational curse here. I don't have to continue the cycle that my mother or that my father or that my grandparents started. I can break that. I can break that within myself, and I can break that in my children and how it is that I treat my own children moving forward to break these cycles, okay? For some of you, I feel like this is connected to the body, okay? I feel like, some scientists believe, some doctors believe that trauma is actually like in DNA, like it passes through generation to generation. There's a remembrance of trauma that your ancestors experienced. It somehow like transfers itself in the blood, right? And I almost get this sense of like you understand that there's something inside of you that is a part of that traumatized ancestry. The question is, what do you do going forward? I'm getting a lot of energy here of like, I became my mother, I became my father. This is like the regret that I feel is coming through the most, is I became that thing that I knew that I didn't want to be. And there's a sense here of needing to set up boundaries, and these boundaries are to prevent this cycle. Even here with sacred sexuality, right? There's a sense of a circular cycle coming forward here that you are trying to break free from. Okay, I want to get some more particulars here. The Two of Swords here, the Ace of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Swords. Wow. What a perfect little spread here, just jumping out from the beginning. The blockage here is the cycles from the past. Now, for some of you, I see you feeling like you're constantly on repeat. Like one of your biggest regrets is that you knew what it was that you wanted in your life, the new opportunities, the new loves, the new work opportunities, right? But you feel like you never let go of the mental blockages that stopped you, the anxiety, the worry, the lack of self-confidence, that stopped you from being authentically you, from becoming like the fool, basically, and starting out fresh so that you can break this cycle and set the wheel of fortune, set that in a direction that is you. For you, the biggest victory for you, pile number one, would be to run towards letting go. To run towards letting go of the past, letting go of all of the blockages that you remember in your past. What I mean by that is there are so many times in our life where we take our trauma and we apply that trauma to new situations that don't even have anything to do with our past, with the way that people hurt us in the past, with the way that people didn't love us in the past, for some of you, with goals and accomplishments, work-related accomplishments, right? Our failures of the past. We walk into new opportunities saying to ourselves, I'm going to fail at this like I failed before. Or this person isn't going to love me just like my parents didn't love me. There must be something wrong with me. I must not be capable of receiving. I must not be one of the gifted, one of the people that is able to have this kind of love, this kind of fairy tale life. And you're being asked to disconnect from that, because I feel like at the end of your life, you're going to realize, I let all those fears dictate where it was that I was going to go to next. And I ended up at the exact destination that I was trying to avoid. In other words, I ended up living a life that felt smaller than the one that I uniquely felt that I was destined to live. Because I was afraid that I would fail at this new life. I was afraid to take the first step forward. And my inaction led to the exact thing that I was afraid of. Okay? I see this too in new relationships and in new work opportunities, new goals that you had set for yourself. Again, you were taking the past trauma, right? Somebody cheated on me before. You meet Prince or Princess Charming in the future, and you approach that person from a place of suspicion, right? From a place of, I don't know if I can trust you. I'm looking through your phone. This person has never done anything to prove to you, right, that they are a cheater. But you're taking the past trauma and you're applying it to a new situation. Your best luck here. I love how this has transpired here. Your best luck, in other words, the blessing that's going to set you in motion to actually transmute and to actually release, right? To sage your life from the negative past so that you can start fresh in the future is to release. That is the antidote here. Right? For a lot of you, this is mental. This is mental. You might find that it would be useful to speak to somebody about this. Of course, you do what you please, but for some of you, you might already be in therapy, or you've thought like, I really do need to speak to somebody about releasing this from the past. I can't keep self-sabotaging the relationships from the future because I'm carrying the baggage and the wounds from the past. Something easier said than done, right? But that needs to be done nonetheless, because you're blocking your blessings here. This idea of fear of turning out a particular way leads you to an action. And as I often say, no choice is the worst choice. Okay, not making a choice to say, you know what? I need to release this. I need to let go of this. I need to take the first step forward. I need to detach from the old version of me. This version of me has taught me a lot of lessons, right? The wounded, hurt version of me has taught me a lot of lessons. But now it's time to let go of that, to take only the lessons, right? And know, okay, I'm better because of those past hurts, those past haunts. But I need to move forward. I need to move forward even though I've been hurt, and only take the lessons of those experiences. Don't project the trauma of them onto other people or onto new opportunities. The Knight of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, this is something that you can jump to get through quickly. In other words, there's a sense of like doing it right now. Do it right now, okay? For some of you, this is a jump towards love, but for others of you, it is a choice. It is a choice here. You have to rush to make the decision to not be glued to the past, to past lives, to past relationships, to past trauma. For your particular pile, I feel like an exercise that would be helpful, right, is to make a list of like the top 10 things that have hurt you in your life. If you could think about that, what are the top 10 things that I feel have hurt me, that I feel have really, really taken me backwards, and things that trigger me. Every time that I feel like I take 10 steps forward, I think of this one thing and it takes me back. If you're trying to quit smoking, what's the one trigger that gets you back in that alleyway smoking cigarettes, right? If your goal is to have optimum health, what's the one trigger that takes you back to eating ice cream while you watch Netflix, right? These past traumas, make a list of those things from the past, and almost say to yourself, I am not this person anymore. My identity does not resonate with this person from the past. And when you have that, when you know what those things are, it makes it easier to realize how married you have been to the negative things in your life. And who wants to be married to that, right? It's like you realize you're in a toxic relationship. Notice here on this particular representation of the lovers, how Eve turns her face to Adam. She's almost disgusted by this person that she is in this union with, okay? And I almost get this sense here that you're done being married to your own past trauma, to the expectations that your family has placed on you. the cycles that were started by people that were here long before you and that have continued, okay? And you're ready to break that marriage off. You're ready to run like a bat out of hell from this hell that you feel that you're constantly in this cycle with, okay? I heard this quote once that was quite beautiful. I don't remember who said it, but I think it's like, all the gods, all the heavens, and all the hells are within you. All of the gods, all of the heavens, and all of the hells are within you. You have to decide which one you want to be and which one you want to live in. Okay? When we do this, when we decide, these are the things that I need to run from. These are the things that I no longer want to be married to. If I was unloved by my parents, right, in the past, do I feel like I still should have a relationship with them? Do I need to fight for that, right? Do I need to, where is it that I am begging people for love in the future, in the present, that remind me of my parents, where I'm making the effort to be loved by these people, not because I feel a genuine connection with them, but because this cycle is continuing of me constantly overreaching to try to be loved by people that don't love me, like a trigger, right? Somebody pushes themselves away. Somebody loves you in a way that is not whole, that is not complete. And you say, that's my cue to jump. They're saying jump and you're asking how high here, right? And you're going back into this cycle, into this marriage with these traits, with these cycles, with these actions, these habits that you know no longer serve you. You're being asked to have this energy with the King of Swords here, right? To say, wait a minute, I'm going to protect myself from this. I'm going to sever this. I'm going to be my own defense here, my own advocate here. And I'm going to walk away. I'm going to let this thing go. Some of you, this is quite deep with the Moon card here, quite ingrained, right? There's a certain way that you have loved in your life, that you have limited your own opportunities because of what people and ancestors and society in the past has said to you that you are worth, that you deserve, right? You're not the kind of person that deserves this. You're not the kind of person that is capable of this. This is the blockage. Notice how this blockage is in the past. And the key to unlocking, to moving forward, is release. Some of you, I know it wholeheartedly that you have to let people go, okay? You have to actually release people in your life. And some of these people are your own family. You know, you can love people from afar, right? You can love somebody from afar. I'm getting this question too for you of what is family to you? Is family, you can choose your own family. You can choose your own family. Family doesn't have to be the people that you were born to or into or around. And I'm getting the sense here that you can absolutely choose your own family. It's actually the greatest mark of self-love to say to yourself, these people have had a negative influence on me. They make me feel like garbage every time I'm around them, right? And I can choose to move in a different direction. I don't have to be linked to people that don't bring out the best in me just because we share DNA, right? Just because we share blood, okay? Decide again here at the bottom. It's time to clearly make a decision about what you want. Notice even here, there's a unicorn behind you. This is about the past. What are you going to let go of from your past? Who do you need to detach from? These influences, there's a sense here that you're letting them control. You're letting them control your future. You're letting past relationships, past hurt, control the future. It's like a cycle that's never ending. Now, as I had mentioned, for some of you, this is physical, right? With strength here and exercise, it's literally physical, okay? Like you want to build strength, you want to exercise, you want to get active, okay? In order to get this energy moving. The blockage is mental. That's going to stop you from moving forward, okay? Easier said than done, right? Because it's not easy to lose weight. But for some of you, you're looking to lose literal weight. This is the thing that you're letting go of, right? And the boundaries here are a sense of like feeling like you want to be a hermit. You want to be inside because you're not happy with how your body looked. And you never got past this. And there's a regret here. Like I could have done that. There was so much about my physical appearance that I felt like held me back. I was afraid to go outside. I was afraid to go look for love because maybe you thought people would call you fat or nobody would be interested in you because of the way that your body looked. There's a sense here that you want to do these things because you recognize, okay, that the thing that was holding you back wasn't society thinking, oh, you're overweight, or oh, you're big, or you're unattractive. I do air quotes because there are people that look attractive with weight on them. It's all a matter of perspective, okay? For some of you, there's a sense here that you know at the end of your life, like, man, I would have found love regardless of what I looked like. The thing that held me back, though, was my own belief that I wasn't worthy of those things because I knew that I wanted to be stronger, that I wanted to be physically active, that I wanted to feel healthier, that I wanted to feel more confident. In other words, it's not so much about the results, about actually being thinner or being, right? It's about how you view yourself. And you didn't take the work, you didn't do the work in order to do that, okay? The card of light here showing up as well. See the light within yourself and everyone else. I think with this light card, it's interesting because I'm getting like some people's light is dark. And recognizing that some people's light in your life is dark. Some people have good light and some people have bad light, right? You wouldn't recognize the light in somebody that hurts children, for example, right? Some people have good light and some people have dark light. And this is saying recognize the light, the truth within yourself and other people. And if that light is dark, is that the light that you want to keep influencing your life? Or do you need to run away? Do you need to sever ties here? Do you need to let that person go? Is that the best thing that it is that you're going to do for yourself here? One more card, please, for pile number 1. One more card, please, for pile number 1. I think for others of you that this isn't a goal in regards to your body, okay? I feel like the exercise, right? The exercise is like a practice on flexing your own internal strength by saying, I know that this isn't where it is that I'm meant to be, or where it is that I'm meant to, who it is that I'm meant to surround myself with. I would rather be alone than to be with people that I know are holding me back, that are holding me down, that are keeping me in negative past cycles, particularly when it comes to love. Love from your parents, your ancestors, right? And how that love or lack of love has influenced love going forward with a romantic partner, with siblings, right? With friends, how it is that you choose to be loved here in the future based off of how it was that you were loved in the past. You've pulled the card of strength again. Again, you could be a Leo, but you don't have to be, okay? You've pulled this card of strength again here for your oracle, okay? Your affirmation here. This is a bonus card, and when those come up, it's like an extra confirmation that this was meant to be, okay? So you have strength here. You are hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are. Yeah, this gives me this feeling that I had mentioned in the beginning, right? About like being grateful for these things. understanding like that view that I got of the colander. I'm taking just the meat and potatoes of this. All of the good experiences, the things that I did learn about my own strength, about what it is that I'm capable of, right? And I'm moving forward with just that strength. Like it's a blessing here. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate, brighter like this light, right? Once you move towards releasing this, you step into the light here, okay? And based on what I know of mythology, probably with great hair and a six-pack, again, references right to physical appearance here with the strength card. Some of you, your biggest regret is letting your physical appearance or your belief of what your physical appearance is hold you back from stepping out into your own, from stepping out into any situation where you got attention. You shy away from attention. Some of you, you want to be a star, you want to be a celebrity, you want to be in the public eye, but you're like, no, I don't look the right way for that. And this is you saying, at the end, saying, oh, I wish I never would have let that hold me back. I wish I would have just stepped out and said, this is me, take it or leave it, okay? The people that are meant to appreciate you will appreciate you regardless of what it is that you look like, whether you have great hair and a six-pack or not, okay? And then we have forgiveness at the base here. Another bonus card. Look at you go. Forgiveness. Congratulations, you're being given one of the most powerful superpowers there is, forgiveness. Imagine that you've been bitten by a radioactive forgiver. The point is, you suddenly have the ability to forgive people for their flaws, their bad days, their unkind moments, and their mistakes. And the best thing about forgiveness is that you can apply it to yourself too. Have fun wielding your new power. But remember, with great forgiveness comes great inner peace. I get this sense here of this is the past. That's 6, the Lovers here, right? Deciding what it is that happened, those traumatic events, right? Where can you forgive there? And where can you move forward? Getting closure on those things and committing to yourself. I'm not going to project these things from the past onto my blessings in the future. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm getting Joanne the scammer here, where she is in front of that espresso machine, right? And she says, that's it, it's over, it's canceled. That's you. That's you saying, here are the things. That's it, that's over, it's canceled. We're divorced now. I am divorcing myself from being married to these things that I know at the end of my life, if I don't break this cycle now, I'm going to keep going down this path. I'm going to keep living in the past and projecting those things onto every new blessing and ruining them for myself, right? With this 7 of Swords, this sabotage. You're stealing from yourself here, okay? Because we're not breaking these cycles. A very, very interesting reading. Pile number 1. That was the reading for you. I'm very curious of what you think about this. How did it resonate with you? And what do you think if you were to think right now, right? Like, these are the things that I'm doing. This is the path that I'm on. What is going to be my biggest regret going forward based off of what I know right now I'm setting myself up for the future? I'd love to chat with you in the comments about it. I have a future spouse week coming up. Everybody asked for it. And here we go again, starting on Monday, okay? A video every day of the week regarding your future spouse. Some fun videos coming, okay? I had a lot of fun recording those. So I look forward to seeing you next week for those videos. All right, pile number 1, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye. All right, if you picked pile number 2, then this is the reading for you on what it is that the biggest regret will be on this current path at the end of your life, and what it is that you can do to change that if that is not the path that you want to go down. As I mentioned for pile number one, the intent of this reading is to uplift you, not to scare you, right? This is just to bring you to a place of reckoning with the path that you're on right now. And if you don't like the destination, to compel you, right, to change that path for the betterment of yourself and your experience here in this lifetime. I want to start with one card first to see what the anchor is, what the overall issue is of what it is that you will regret the most, and then we will go from there. For pile number two, please. What is the biggest regret for pile number two at the end of their life, please? For pile number two, the biggest regret for pile number two, please, at the end of their life. Pile number two, please. What is the biggest regret? The hidden. Very, very interesting. I'm going to pull the book on you for this. The energy that I'm getting from this hidden card is there are things that you feel based off of the trajectory of your past that you feel are inaccessible to you in the future. Okay, I get so much of the energy of I don't deserve this. I don't deserve these blessings in the future. These things are hidden to me. These things are inaccessible to me. I think one of the biggest things that I'm feeling here is love. Love is hidden from you. I can't seem to decode this. I can't seem to figure this thing out, okay? I think too, because of that, because of perhaps some past trauma, because of the experiences that you've had, you feel like this is hidden from you. This is a thing that the universe almost teases you with. I get a sense of like that dangling in front of you and you feeling like you can't access it. Every time that you get close, this thing slips away, okay? Hidden meaning as well, I'm getting here. Finding the hidden meaning in what it is that you truly want to do with your life. You have struggled with this at the end of your life. Here is the hidden card for the screenshotters out there. The hidden. In the unobservable, quiet shadows within our minds, a vital side of our being resides. This secret presence holds the fundamental adventures of our soul. It is an alchemical adventure that joins us with this hermetic entity, nocturnally mining the gold of its ancient archetypes, the monolithic sentinel of the human character. Searching in our dreams for hopeful clues to its mysterious presence that holds the reason for our existence, an existence that is changed simply by its furtive growth within us. Your key words here are wholeness, flight, shadow, return, path, and totality. I think too, for some of you, you have hidden talents. You have hidden talents, you have hidden growth, you have hidden desires that you almost are afraid to speak out into existence here at the end of your life. You wish so much that you could have lived an honest life, a life that was honest to what it was that you truly desired, instead of keeping those things hidden, and instead of keeping yourself hidden, your true self hidden from what it was that you wanted in your life, okay? One more card, please. Yeah, speak truth here. The creator at the bottom of the deck, again, a sense of your own power, of your own gifts, and keeping yourself hidden from the world for fear of failure, for fear of having your ego bruised. I think too, for some of you, there's a sense here that you want so much love in your life, because this word love keeps coming to me in this reading. You want so much love in your life, but you are afraid to go get it. You are afraid to run towards the love that you knew that you deserved and that you desired. We have death here. You could certainly be a Scorpio. And we also have speak truth here. Speaking honestly about what it is that you want in your life. But staking your claim, I'm getting here. Staking your claim like this sword digging it into the soil with power and saying, this is what I want. I know from my process of transformation, of death and rebirth, that this is the person that I always wanted to be. And this is very much saying, I need to stake my claim and live in my truth. I never genuinely followed that path. I chose to stay hidden. I chose to hide my gifts from the world. For some of you, those gifts are creative gifts, okay? There's a sense here of the people that get to live lives that are so unique, that are so extraordinary, that are so out of the box, the outlaws of life, right? That live they dance to the beat of their own drum. That person isn't me. I'm afraid to show that version of me because if I fail, it will bruise my ego. You could be an air sign as well, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius with this Speak Truth card, very much like the Ace of Swords. I get here that through transformation in your life, right, through your process of ascension, you decided early on that this is who I know that I'm meant to be. And you didn't take the steps to become that version of you. And there is a regret here in not living your life genuinely and honestly here, okay, because you feared, I'm almost getting like the hammer coming down on you. You feared public humiliation. You feared that you wouldn't, when you stepped out into this truth, that people wouldn't resonate with it. That almost like a sense of you weren't good enough for this thing, okay? Yeah, you are afraid to stand out. And you carried this fear of standing out with you, okay? You carried it and you let it hold you to places that you knew that you needed to long depart from. Because, again, I get the past. I get like, I was told that I didn't deserve this. I was convinced, right? I convinced myself that if my path started a certain way, who was I to dare to think that it could be different? And even with this clarity of mind of, okay, I've zeroed in, I've honed in on who it was that I wanted to be, I still didn't let that go. I'm getting here. You failed to fight for your true self, for your truth. I think a part of you, for some of you, I'm getting a lot of trauma from the past, from your youth. I'm getting like when you were a kid, you were in situations where you couldn't speak up for yourself. You didn't have the strength, right? I'm getting like everything seemed so formidable in contrast to your little body, especially with abusive parents, abusive people in your life, that you felt very much did not have your back, did not have your best interest at heart, were almost trying to hold you back because of their own insecurities here, okay? I feel like a sense here that you convinced yourself, well, there must be something wrong with me, that I have this kind of energy coming towards me, so I would rather hide instead of to live in this truth, to be who it is that I've always wanted to become, but most importantly, to love who it is that I was meant to love, okay? Death here, again, Scorpio energy at the bottom of the deck. I almost get a sense that like for you to break free from this, there's a sense here that you have to trample over some people. And this thought scares you. I get selfishness, that word coming out strongly, like you feel like it would be selfish to walk out, to walk away in order to really, really connect with your true self. There's a part of you that is about your true self, right? That it just does not fall in line with the life that you lived. And there's a sense that when you took steps to say, no, wait, this is who I really want to be. When you did that, other people in your life were like, well, you're being selfish, or you felt selfish to take care of the self. Felt like you were shamed in this process. You shamed yourself as well. You were shamed by people that were almost like I'm getting like coming for your throat, okay? I don't mean that in a sense that these people were trying to like hurt you in any particular way. They're not chasing you down some dark alley or something like that, right? I get this from a sense of people that wanted you to stay the same so that they could be right about what they were projecting, but also so that they didn't have to look within themselves to see what they were doing wrong. If they could keep you stuck, then it makes them feel better about the fact that they were stuck. Okay, I feel like some of you, I'm getting this energy of knowing that you have a strength in you, that you have a gift in you, and being ashamed of that success, of the success that you know that you were meant to have in your life. You were shamed into living a life that was smaller than you deserved. When I say shamed, what I mean is, like, let's say you have the idea that you want to be a millionaire, okay? Again, just for idea's sake. You wanted to be a millionaire, and people didn't understand that the reason that you wanted this was because you wanted freedom. You wanted freedom of choice. You didn't want to have to be in relationships that you were in solely because of financial ties. You didn't want to be limited in what parts of the world that you could see, what things you could experience, because money limited you in this way. And when you would say something like, I'm going to be a millionaire, people would say, well, why do you need that? What does that say about you, right? You're a gold digger, or you're greedy. They shamed what it was that you wanted to become, because they didn't see what the true underlying motivation was behind it. Okay, obviously this idea of being a millionaire is just for example's sake, but you can kind of see how wires can get crossed, right? Of what your intention was, of what it was that you were really trying to create for yourself, and how other people failed to see that, failed to see the genuine reasons why you wanted this to happen, but also I'm getting wanted to hold you back from that because they never got to achieve it. For some of you, you are meant to be more successful than people in your family and in your friend circle. I'm getting a lot of ties to money here, okay? You were meant to be more successful. And there's a shame in that. There's a sense of like you feel bad that you know that you were meant to outgrow the situation that you came from, okay? This reminds me a lot of a scene in that movie Million Dollar Baby, where Hilary Swank's character, she becomes this successful boxer, right? I believe it was boxing that she was doing. And she wins all this money, and she uses this money to buy her mother a house. And the mother says to her, well, how am I supposed to keep my unemployment or my disability with this house? Like, why would you buy me this house? This beautiful gesture, right? That this person was trying to bring forward to her mother's life was misconstrued, was looked at through the lens of somebody that was unwilling, that stubbornly remained stagnant in her life because she didn't want to have to push herself in any way. And she almost shamed her daughter. She shamed her daughter in this moment of like, you became a success. You broke through, right? You broke through our old neighborhood, our family, what we were used to achieving. And now I want you to feel ashamed of that. Now I'm going to, I don't understand this, right? I want to stay in my space, and you introducing me to this world where you're doing all of these big things, that makes me feel bad. So I'm gonna poo all over that vision that you have for yourself. For some of you, you let these people win. You let these people win, and you failed to stand up for yourself. I get so much, again, of a visual of a child always feeling like you're that child again, the wounded child. The Nine of Wands speaks of getting through a journey, right, and standing your ground, but getting to that place being wounded here. I feel like this is your old wounded self. Like you can't get past this place of feeling like you're still that wounded kid, and you can't speak for yourself, you can't advocate for yourself, and you can't walk away from things that you know no longer serve you, from actions that you know are purposely, I'm hiding here. I'm getting, it's time to show yourself here to the world. Okay, it's time to show yourself, to stake your claim, and to stop hiding from the love that you want and the success that you want in your life. Okay, it's time to walk away from that wounded self. The thing about the wounded self, right, that sometimes we fail to recognize the wounded child in us, for those of us that had trauma in our youth, is that you survived. You survived. And what does that say about your wounded child? Your wounded child is not a child, actually. They're a strong adult. You had been operating as a strong adult even when you were a kid. Now, here's what I'm getting. Yeah, but it wasn't fair, right? That I had to grow up so quickly, that I had to have all these feelings when I was a kid of like the world being against me, of people not supporting me. And I agree. I agree with you, Pile 2, that that isn't fair, that you were dealt those cards. But what the universe is saying now is you can make any hand that you want. You have the full deck. That's the blessing in the curse, right? That you have the full deck now, instead of other people that have to wait until later to get the full deck to create the life that they want. You got it early. Which hand do you want to deal yourself now? Figure that out, right? Walk away from this wounded child. Walk away from this part of you that feels like, oh, there's conflict. I've got to shrink. I've got to shrink myself for other people. I've got to remain hidden. I don't want to shake things up. I don't want to cause conflict, right? Walk away from that and free yourself. Free yourself from this in order to set your path up where you feel like you are living in this Wheel of Fortune energy, where the forward momentum, the luck that you have in your life is all based off of who it is that you truly know you are meant to be. Okay? I get too, for some of you, you want to do something that is spoken, okay? Again, if you feel like a creative inclination, there's a message that you know that you're meant to deliver to the world. And this Wheel of Fortune is saying that the second that you start living in this truth, right? The second that you start speaking or sharing your gifts instead of keeping them hidden from the world, that is when you know you'll feel like, okay, I've come into lucky time. I've come into blessed time. Everything falls into place. It's like that sense, with great risk comes great reward. The universe is saying, when you risk it, when you risk being your true authentic self, that's when life feels like it's come from this stuck energy, to unstuck. It's almost, I almost get the sense that like there's obstacles that are placed in your path. And until you're willing to kind of step on the necks of those obstacles, right? To almost angrily, stubbornly, righteously, right? Say, no, I'm sorry, but I have to step all over this. I have to walk all over you, walk all over the past, walk all over who it is that gave me these wounded child feelings, right? Walk away from that in a way that might look selfish, right? That death card looks like, wow, you really have no consideration for the people that are underneath you, right? The question is, like, where's the reciprocation? I get this sense of like you sacrificing yourself for the opinions of people that don't matter. Your true self is being sacrificed for the opinion of people that do not matter. People that, although you can love them, it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your life for them, your achievements for them. Okay, you're being asked here to walk away from those things that bind you. Now, for some of you, this truth, living in this truth, as I said, is a creative endeavor. It's saying, I know that I am unique and I am uniquely gifted, and I need to walk away from the constraints that tell me that people don't want to see me, okay? But for others of you, this has to do with living in a situation that you don't want to live in. Because you settled financially, you were afraid to live on your own. You were afraid to find your own truth. I think you'll know if this particular portion of the spread resonates with you if you look throughout your history, right? Of like, who have I lived with in my life? If you have always moved in with somebody else, right? You left home because home was bad, but you lived with a roommate, okay? You left your roommate and immediately went into living with a romantic partner. And then another romantic partner, right? And even though you were unhappy in all those situations, it was because you didn't want to be alone. For some of you, there's a sense here that your finances limited you. You were afraid to take the step forward, to be independent. And so you always went to whatever could save you next, I'm getting. Whatever it was that could save you next, because you didn't like the idea of being out in the cold alone. You would rather be out in the cold with a partner, as the Five of Pentacles, the traditional imagery states, instead of being out independently on your own and learning to blossom on your own here with the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like this energy is quite interesting, because when I think about this Five of Pentacles, this idea of being out on your own, it's like I'm almost getting that you were okay with being in this Five of Pentacles state, because at least I'm not by myself. But moving towards that, okay, left you here. In other words, because you wanted to move horizontally, just to not be alone, you never moved up. You settled here for a life living with people, living with a lover that you didn't really love. And there's a sense here that you should have put your financial situation before feeling a sense of romantic kinship, okay? I want to explain that because I feel like people can misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out and look for love, because I feel like the part of the problem is that you settled on love because you needed somebody to help you financially. In other words, you were like, well, I know that this isn't the marriage that I want. I know that this isn't the person that I truly 100% resonate with, but I'm going to excuse all the things that I feel that we don't have in common, because I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. And a part of that fear has to do with money. A part of that fear has to do with I can't be my own independent self. I feel afraid to do the work, afraid to go out on my own. And so I'll hide here for a moment. I'll find safe refuge here for a moment. And that moment turned into the rest of your life. Because you said, what can comfort me now, instead of how do I build myself up? So that when I do choose love, it's love that is chosen simply because of the fact that I truly love this individual. This forced you to settle on love a little bit, because you were trying to escape a situation from the past. So you moved towards somebody in the future that, again, you didn't 100% resonate with, because it helped you to not feel like you were out in the cold, okay? A lot of you, your biggest regret is not being independent, jumping towards love or towards other people because you were afraid to stand and hold your own pentacle here. And there's a sense that so much of your life, so much of your path, so much of your purpose here was wrapped up into somebody else's vision, okay? Very, very interesting energy. Yeah, like walking away from being tied into situations where you felt attacked. You felt like, okay, the world is kind of crumbling under my feet here. I need to have some security here. Even if that means having it with somebody that I don't truly 100% love, at least this is something for now. This satiates me for now, even though I know it won't satiate me for the long term. There's a sense of settling there that you're being told now, no, stand up for yourself, okay? Stand up for your future self by your actions today. Very interesting. For pile 2, please. For pile 2, please. You know what's interesting? When this laughter card came out, okay, I got a sense of like, you have to learn to laugh at yourself, especially for those of you that are hiding because you're afraid that if I try to step forward with this creative vision that I have, that I want to build for myself, or this unique life that very much is against the grain, I'm coloring outside of the lines if I want to live this life, right? For those of you that are hiding, you need to learn to laugh at yourself. It's like the second that you learn to laugh at yourself a little bit, right? Then it's like, I don't mind if everybody else laughs at me. It takes some of the pressure off, okay? To be a little bit self-deprecating here, to learn like, oh wait, I'm just a human being. Of course, some people, when I put this message out, when I put myself forward, when I speak my authentic life, of course some people are going to laugh at me, right? Of course some people are going to think my goals are dumb. Of course people aren't going to resonate with my vision for myself. I need to learn to laugh at myself here. I think too, this idea of laughing at yourself, I almost get like the more that you can laugh at your own life, the less that you will, or the more that you can learn to laugh by yourself, the less that you're dependent, on needing somebody else to laugh, to have happy moments, to have fun moments. This is saying learn to laugh on your own. Okay, something that you could put into practice right now is maybe watching comedy specials, especially if that's not like your genre. Because I know for me, like comedy shows and things like that, it's just not my thing, right? But this is saying like maybe you'll find something and just laughing a little bit right now, right? Laughing at human beings, at how silly we can be, and that helps to get you out of your shell, helps to get you out of hiding. Right? When you don't take yourself so seriously, then that removes the blockage that the ego puts up that says, don't go anywhere. Don't try anything. Because what if people laugh at you? And it's like, I'm already laughing at myself. I already feel like this is all just a joke, right? Life, the confines that we put on our own lives, that's a joke. And I can move past that if I live my own authentic truth. And then you have worth waiting for here, okay? With that Queen of Pentacles and that Five of Pentacles, there's this feeling of stability, right? There's this feeling of looking for short-term stability because we're afraid of how difficult it could be to build long-term stability that is independent of others. And this is saying that that long-term stability is worth waiting for. Your patience will be rewarded. In other words, don't just jump to something because it's the thing in front of you. I think some of you can resonate with this because I got so much about love, right? Of course, this could be self-love, but I got so much about love. Like you didn't love who you wanted to love because you didn't love yourself enough to stand on your own 2 feet. You were trained to like sacrifice yourself, your love for yourself. Right? And that helped you to not stand up for yourself, convinced you to not stand up for yourself. And this idea of worth waiting for some of you, you know that you're in relationships that you wouldn't have run towards, that those relationships ran towards you. You entertained relationships that came to you. Even the current relationship that you might be in, you entertained that relationship. It's not something that you would have run to, that you would have walked to. If you could pick anybody in the world to love, the person that you pick, that person came to you. You did not run to it. And that, I think, says something to you. That the fact that you wouldn't run to this person, it's almost like, well, I guess this person is interested in me, so I'll entertain them. Right? Well, I guess this person wants to provide for me, so I'll move in with them. I do want a greater love than the love that I feel is in front of me, but that love hasn't shown up. So I guess I'll just do this for now. And now, for now, turns into forever. And so this is saying it's better to be alone. It's better to be independent, right? Because when you get into a relationship or even a career, where you push yourself in that direction just to not feel alone, The problem with that is you feel alone anyways, because you know this isn't where I'm truly meant to be. This isn't what it is that I'm truly meant to do with my life. This isn't who it is that I'm meant to love in my life, right? And there's a sense here of like you're already alone, okay? The love card is showing up. As I said, there's so much, that word just kept coming to me. Love, 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 okay? Here is that for the people that would like to screenshot. Love. Love is a many-splendored thing. Today I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors. Like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or the surge of self-congratulation I feel when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on the first try. Or how about the chills that I get while singing along to? And then there's a blank space to enter the name of the song that gives you chills while you're singing it, okay? Again, notice on this particular card, okay, there is no mention in this card of love about other people. Today, I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors, right? Or the surge of self-congratulation that I feel when I sink a 3-point basket on the first try. Or how about the chills that I get while singing along to, right? This energy is independent. This energy is completely independent. Your biggest mistake was not waiting for the right thing. You settled for right now instead of right. So if you're looking for a lover, you settled for Mr. Right Now or Mrs. Right Now instead of Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. And when it comes to your career, you took what was just easy, right? Instead of taking what took some time to build, but was uniquely yours. There's a sense here of hiding. You hid from your life. And this spread is saying emerge. Emerge, right? Death to that, death to that. Go out on your own. It's okay. When you live this authentic life, when you say, you know what, no more, I'm severing my connection to people that I know, I'm not fully in love with you, right? Or careers where you're like, I know that I'm meant to be doing something different. That's when you will get rewarded. People that live in their authentic truth get rewarded by the universe for doing so. And all these blessings will feel like they're rushing your way. Everything that felt like a battle before, will feel like all of a sudden it's like water, it's flowing. The faucet just turned on immediately. And this thing that I thought was going to be so hard to have, true love, a true connection with my work, right? Being out, being open. All those things actually were so much easier than living this lie. It took more work to live this lie than it did to live my authentic self. I got just this absolute rush of relief just now. Perhaps even you acknowledging that will give you a release in your energy. If you say to yourself, I spend more energy living this lie than I would living my authentic self. That, right, could be the self-love, the mantra that will help you to release, to walk away from this thing that has you confined, okay? You have 2 8s here. 8s could be important to you. There's a sense here of like being okay with being selfish. I know that I mentioned that before, but it keeps coming back, okay? And being brave enough to live life outside of your comfort zone. Temporary discomfort for long-term stability here with the Queen of Pentacles. Very, very interesting reading. Pile number 2, that was your reading, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Starting on Monday, we're doing another Future Spouse Week. I know you guys have been asking for that for a little while, and I'm happy to be doing it again. So I hope that you join me starting on Monday for some more videos about that connection. I'm curious to see what you think about this spread, how it is that it resonated with you, and how it is that you plan on kind of coming out of hiding in your life so that you don't end up somewhere that you don't want to be, or with a regret, right? That you don't want to regret later on. I thank you for watching, and I hope that I see you next week. Bye-bye. All right, if you picked pile number 3, then this is the reading for you on what it is that might be the biggest regret that you have at the end of your life. As I mentioned for pile number 1 and 2, the purpose of this reading isn't to scare you, right? It isn't to discourage you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It is meant to uplift you and to give you a moment of reckoning within yourself, right? About the path that you're currently headed on. What is it about the reading that resonates with you? And if there's anything in the reading that you want to avoid in the future, knowing that we have to change our path in order to avoid that thing. So I'm going to jump right on in with a card that kind of will let us know what the anchor is, the foundation is of this regret that you will experience in your lifetime on your current trajectory, okay? For pile number 3, please, the biggest regret at the end of pile number 3's life, please. Primordial. Okay. Very, very nice. This card, there's something so ancient about this energy, okay? I get a very, very strong feeling of what it is that is written, and how it is, how concrete are those things, right? I get like, I think it was Moses, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Moses? I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments down below. I get this energy of like Moses reading off the commandments, right? And there's a sense here of like this thing that has been written in stone, that has set the pace for what it is that we expected in life, and how it is that we need to learn to adapt for our own future, and to release old beliefs that no longer serve us. I think one of the things that you will experience in your life here is letting go of old beliefs, sticking almost like with the ego, right? Sticking to your guns for a way of life, for a way of being, for a personality, right? That you know, I'm not this person anymore, and yet you stuck with it. You still stuck with this thing, even though you knew in your heart that you were meant to be somebody else. I also get the idea of climbing up to the mound, okay? A sense of like getting up to the top of the mountain and being afraid to take that journey, being afraid to acknowledge your own power. That I'm getting very strongly, and not living to this power. Okay. For you, pile number 3, I think you know that you have an incredible power within you, a power that almost scares you. And you regret the most not living up to that power. There are so many things that you knew that you could have experienced and that you could have accomplished in this life, and you settled. Because your own power, even though you knew it was a part of you, it scared you. And so you chose to live a life much smaller than the one that you had intended, the one that your guides had intended, that you were being pushed towards, okay? I think the biggest regret here is one where you acknowledge, I am a powerful person. And then you say to yourself, but that power scares me. And then you end up at the end of your life saying, all of those coulda, woulda, shouldas, I could have accomplished this. I could have loved that person. I would have been a success at this thing. But I failed. I failed to step into that power. I wonder what your relationship is with power, because this word power is coming to me very strongly, right? I'm fixating on it for some reason. I wonder what it is that you feel truly about that power. When somebody says that they are powerful, what does that mean to you? What feelings does that elicit for you? Does it elicit shame? Does it elicit fear? Does it elicit jealousy, right? I get these strong emotions about what your relationship is to saying to yourself, I am powerful. What do you feel when you say that to yourself? I feel like that's going to give you an answer here, okay? I'm going to put this up for our screenshotters. You've pulled the primordial card. Primordial, excuse me. In the heroic terrain of the primordial consciousness, the mountainous archetypes of our being reside. In our dreams, they travel across the ancient terrain cloaked in symbolic mystery, mementos of our essential selves, given to us on our nocturnal journeys together. A power, basically, that was given to you, knowledge that was given to you, but as I said, a true identity, a true personality that you know resides within you, that you're afraid to let out, okay? These journeys take us across immeasurable, nameless wilderness to a time when the logic of mountains made the world easier for us, more coherent. At night, in our dreams, these towering spirits send us pictures of our innermost selves, relaxed and gently reconciled in valleys of fragrant earth held by glittering starry skies, faded postcards from our ancestral past. There's a sense here that you know that you were meant to live a life that was big. And the thing about big lives is that they can feel quite scary, right? When you know, like, oh, I know that I'm meant to do something major in my life. That is scary, right? What you're being told here is that you were born with this power. You were born with this strength. The universe did not set you up on a path to be special, to be unique, to live in this immense life, to live this big life, if you didn't have the tools with you to execute it, okay? Your key words are immensity, essence, necessary, truth, and power. Again, that word power coming back again, okay? I love that necessary and essence are here as your key words, because I think one of the things that you're going to realize is that you had an obligation. See, this was more than just a will for you. This was more than just a desire. It was a duty. It was an obligation for you to live this big life. And to let that down, you're not just letting yourself down. It's almost like you're letting ancestors down. You're letting spirit down. You're letting the universe down because they gave you these gifts and you let them go. You didn't almost savor them, right? This reminds me of a song, a country song called, I think it's It Ain't Yours to Give Away, about somebody that is a gifted singer that is thinking about not singing anymore. And the words, the lyrics in this song are, because every time you open up your mouth, diamonds come rolling out. That ain't yours to give away. It ain't yours to give away. And there's a sense here that you've been given this gift of power, this gift of a life that is meant to be lived big, and you're afraid to do that. And it's not yours. It's not your choice to betray that gift. It's not your choice to betray that power. It's your duty to step up in the face of fear in order to make this life happen, in order to climb the mountain. You were meant to be at the top of Everest, okay? For some of you, this has to do with literal travel. You were meant to travel the world. You were meant to see the world, little unique places that most people don't ever step into, okay? You were meant to sit at the top of Everest and to breathe the air there, air that only a couple hundred people, if that, right, have been able to breathe before. But even as a metaphor, you were meant to reach the highest of heights when it comes to success, when it comes to what your calling is. And you decided to live small instead of to step into your power, to recognize, you know what? I was given these gifts for a reason. I was given these visions, these goals for a reason. The universe wouldn't set me up for this kind of failure, okay? And you've got to step into that. Even here, a part of this, I think, is traveling, okay? Because with sacred sexuality here, there's a sense of the world, of the globe, of traveling around the globe and witnessing different cultures, different experiences, not being locked away. You're meant to climb the mountain here, quite literally, okay? Maybe some of you have dreams of like living in the mountains or living at a high elevation, at a minimum, a metaphor for living in a more expensive life, right? A big home, caviar, champagne wishes, caviar dreams I'm getting here, okay? Knowing like, I was meant to live an abundant life. Why am I so afraid of that? Why am I so afraid of abundance here, okay? Now, at the bottom of the deck, let me start here, okay? Because I think this is important. Surrender. You're being asked to surrender your fear here of this big life. There's a sense here that you are actually spending more energy fighting yourself to keep yourself small than you would have to put energy into climbing this mountain. In other words, you're at the base of the mountain, telling yourself, beating yourself, browbeating almost yourself on every reason why you can't make the trek. And you've spent so long telling yourself that you can't make it up this mountain, that if you would have just started, you would have been up there by now. You're spending more energy talking yourself out of the climb than you are actually working your way up. I get here like, I don't have the tools, I don't have enough water, I don't have enough. And the universe is saying, surrender. Just let go of what you think you need for this. I will put the rest in place for you. Take the first step. Let go. Also, there's a seriousness by which you are viewing this change in your life. You're taking it so life or death, black or white here. And the universe is saying, just play with it. You're meant to just play with this energy. You're meant to play with life. You're meant to almost like make love to it here with this idea of play. And this idea of sacred sexuality here, okay? Just make love to life and watch it make love back to you, okay? Let go of the seriousness and consider this a game. Consider this, I'm just gonna go out to the playground and I'm just gonna enjoy myself. It's so funny that this energy is coming through the spread, because I had taken a little break before I started your spread, and I was thinking about how often it is in our lives that we forget that we were put here to enjoy our experience, right? To actually overcome and to live in abundance and to live a life where we feel like, okay, I feel blessed now at this point in my life, okay, to relax and to let go. And I feel a sense of that. Maybe that's why I had that random thought, right? Because it was going to be a part of your reading here, to let go and just play with this idea. Don't feel like you need to take a militant stance towards it, right? Let's say you play with the idea of taking 10 steps up the mountain, and you don't look at it from, I have to get up here, I have to be strict and militant with myself to make it. What if you just say, I'm going to skip 10 steps because skipping is fun. I'm going to jump 10 steps because it reminds me of hopscotch when I was a kid, right? There's a sense of just play with this. Just play with it and let it play back. Let the energy play back. Release and surrender, and just trust that the universe is going to bring this thing, it's going to meet you halfway. It's going to help you bring this thing into fruition. Okay? Very, very nice. Now, we have the shadow here, and sacred sexuality. This is something that is rooted deep in the subconscious for you, deep in the shadow. You're being asked here to look deep into the shadow as to why it is that you are so afraid of your own success. What is it that there is that is you're truly afraid of, right? And how realistic, I'm getting like separate fact from fiction here. Is it fact that this change is scary, that a big life is scary? Or is that a fiction that you have made up for yourself to keep you hidden, to keep you safe, to help you to hide from the life that you knew that you were meant to live? I'm getting We need to separate fact from fiction here, okay? The Page of Cups here. For some of you, these old, I'm getting rules, these old guidelines, these old commandments, right? They don't apply to the lives that we're living now. And we have to let go of this. We have to release this, specifically for those of you who feel that they weren't born in the body that they identify with, or they want to love differently, right? They want to love a same-sex partner versus what is traditionally considered a relationship or something, right? Yeah. For some of you, you know that you were meant to have big responsibilities and you're hiding from that. You don't want to do the work. I think that you don't want to do the work. This Wheel of Fortune has shown up for every single pile. It's very, very interesting. You don't want to do the work. The work is scary because every single time that you take a step to do the work, every step is a chance for failure. And your ego, your shadow, is saying, it's almost whispering to you as it walks on the path with you, this step could be a misstep, so you better not even take a step to begin with, okay? Page of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, Judgment, the Hanged Man, Wheel of Fortune. You could be a Pisces, but you don't have to be, or a Sagittarius. We have some Scorpio energy here as well with the card of the Shadow. 7 of Wands at the bottom. You got to fight for your own life here. Your biggest regret is that you did not fight for the life that you knew that you were meant to live, the big life, okay? Now, I love that we start here with the Page of Cups because I keep getting tones of this. You already have everything that you need. See, I think some of you are making excuses on what you don't have. I need to build this first. I need to get this much money before I can move forward. Okay, these things, you feel like you're approaching this from a practical perspective, but really what you're doing is you're talking yourself out of stepping into the bigness, the immensity of the life that you were meant to live here. Okay, and what the universe is saying is, I've already placed everything that you need in this cup. For you to bring it down into reality, down into the 3D. Okay, you already have all of the gifts that you need. Stop asking for more. Stop asking for more. I'm getting like asking for any more help here would be to ask me to just do it for you. And life doesn't work that way. I need you to show up so that I can show up. This is what the universe and the guides, the conversation that they're having with you right now. To ask me to give anything more would be to ask me to do it for you. And that is not the journey. The journey, the blessing that comes at the end of the journey, the release, right? The feeling of a life well lived. It comes from you fighting for this for yourself. I can only do so much. The rest of this blessing, the rest of this joy, this happiness, this feeling of luck, this comes from you actually engaging in the fight. This is saying, get your gloves on, get in the ring. It's time to fight for this life with this fiery, passionate energy. It's time to stand up and it's time to stand out. You are meant to go to war right now with the part of you that says, no, 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 keep hiding. Keep hiding. I don't want to be seen. Okay? You are meant to fight with that part of yourself right now. I'm getting too, for a lot of you, okay, you have come to this place where everything feels like it's collapsing right now. Look at this. 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups underneath. Even here with the 2 of Pentacles, I feel like topsy-turvy, okay? Topsy-turvy, dizzy, spinning, like everything feels like it's a mess right now in your life. The reason why is because the universe is trying to give you like a tower. It's trying to say, look, I don't know how much clearer I can make it that you need to move now, right? You need to move now into this goal, into this desire that you have for yourself. I'm trying to make it as uncomfortable for you right now as possible so that you get up and you fight, right? It's saying, like, I keep knocking you down, and the lesson is to get back up, except you keep just letting me knock you down. I want you to get back up. I want you to fight. And this is saying you've got to fight for this thing on your own. Okay. The reason why I find that so intriguing, right? This idea of like all these roadblocks being put in your way on purpose is because without them, you would not. Like, this struggle is the birth of this. I heard a song recently and I feel like this might resonate with you. I'm going to link it down below for you. Now, I got to admit that there's a sense of, it's a little darker of a song, okay? But I feel like it's important that you listen to this song. Interestingly enough, the person that wrote this song, I was talking to somebody, a fellow follower on Instagram, okay, about this particular song. I had sent it to them. The person that is the writer for this band has an illness that he has lived with his whole life. And so a lot of the themes about his songs are about being sick, being born sick, basically, and knowing I only have a finite amount of time, and the struggle with trying to live when you know that you're dying. And the fact that this reading is about your biggest regret before you die, right? That doesn't, I can see why I would hear that song right now, okay? One of the lines in that song that I think that you'll really resonate with this idea of of these blockages that I feel that the universe is putting in your way to get you to fight, to get you righteously angry and say, enough, enough. I am going to fight myself. I am going to fight the world for the life that I know, this big life that I know that I was meant to live. One of the lines that really stands out to me is, this is not your loss. This is your offering. This is not your loss. This is your offering. The reason why I say that is because all these obstacles, this 5 of Cups, this 5 of Swords, all the things that you feel are falling apart in your life, all of the things that you feel, I can't seem to push myself out of this stagnant place. I can't seem to get myself back on purpose, right? I'm living every day of my life and I feel like it doesn't resonate with me. And no matter how much work I put in to staying afloat, I can't seem to get the wheel to turn in my favor. I'm still hanging upside down, topsy-turvy here. The reason is because the thing that you're moving towards is too small. It's too small. And so while you're questioning, I'm getting this, while you're questioning, why is my life falling apart? The universe is saying this isn't a loss. All these things that are falling away right now, that feel like they're slipping from your fingers right now, this is an offering. In other words, you have to offer, you have to surrender this part of your life, this part of your identity, the one that's keeping you small, the one that is keeping you fighting for a little life. You have to say, you know what, I'm done with that. I give this life to you, universe. I give this small life and these small thoughts. Take them from me, right? And bring down to me what is truly meant to be in my path, where I'm truly meant to go. This old life, this primordial life that you thought that you were chained to, that you were confined to, that's your offering. In other words, you have to be willing to lose in order to move forward. You have to go into this fight, into this climb, saying, maybe some slim chance of success, right? Maybe my chances of success aren't that great. You know what? I'm going to fight anyways. I'm going to put my gloves on and I'm going to fight anyways. I'm getting visuals here for people that watch like mixed martial arts and stuff of a fighter named Holly Holm. And she fought a female fighter in the UFC. Her name was Ronda Rousey, very, very famous female fighter, a bit of a polarizing figure, if you will. This woman had like the odds were against her, right? Nobody felt that she would beat the champion, and she did. She shook the world, okay, with this win. And I feel like that's you. Like, you need to know my chances of success here are slim. When you recognize that and you say, I'm going to move forward despite that, that's your offering. The universe is saying, offer your old life, surrender that, and I'll make room for this big one. The second that you admit to yourself, I do have big dreams, and these are really scary, I'm going to take the first step anyways. That's when you are rewarded, okay? That's when you move out of stagnancy here. That's when you can take, everything will start to work out, I'm getting, right? The universe brings back primordial, bringing something back from the past with judgment here, right? It brings back your true self, and it brings you back to life. I feel like this, this spread. If you feel like you have been struggling with feelings of depression, feelings of like, I can't get off the couch, I have no zest, I have no, this is especially a reading for you. The reason why is because you don't have enough at stake. I'm getting, you haven't, you've let go of the big dreams. And now you're left with a little life, right? That there's nothing wrong with little lives. But for you, you know it's not where you're meant to be. So it is wrong for you, okay? And I get here with judgment that when you awaken, okay, when you awaken to the fact that, you know what, I do want this big life. It doesn't matter how many times I've tried to talk myself out of it in the past. When you awaken even just to that idea that things will start working for you. You'll get an orb of illumination that will get you unstuck. That will get you to this place of surrender, to this place of play. And that will get this wheel moving forward for you. Pile 3, please. Pile 3, please. We had talked about what is written in stone. What do you feel is written in stone about you based off of what you have succeeded at and failed at in the past? It's interesting because this card of trust had shown up here, right? I'm getting here. Believe in yourself is at the bottom. See yourself doing well, and you will. What I'm getting here is, for some of you, okay, this trust is within yourself. You don't trust yourself because you've made promises to yourself in the past of, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And then you're like, well, maybe I'll do X, Y, Z tomorrow, or maybe I'll do it next week. And then next week rolls around and you're like, I'll do X, Y, Z next month. Even though you know this thing has got a grip on you, and you keep pushing this away. You keep pushing it away, and it's come to a place where I've promised myself so many times that I am going to achieve this. And every single time I have failed to do so. And now you have a problem trusting yourself. You have a problem trusting your own word, that when you say you're going to get up and fight for something, that you actually will, and that you'll be successful. I feel like a lot of you you haven't even taken the steps to fail. So it's not even failure that is scaring you. It's your trust within yourself that is scaring you, that you can live this life. You've got family culture here, okay? I think a part of this with the shadow, this idea of the deep work that needs to be done is ties perhaps to family, ties to what you were told that you could have or not have as a child. A sense here of, well, this is all that people around me were able to accomplish. My parents, the town that I grew up in, right? This is what the status quo is. And this is saying we need to learn about that history, right? We need to learn where we're mimicking the history and where we're hiding, I'm getting, in some of this history. Well, Nobody else had to do anything big, and they're okay, so it's okay for me to not live my truth. It's okay for me to not climb the mountain, right? Because nobody will notice if I also am living a small life, because they're living small lives, right? So I can hide in this place and just keep my dreams to myself. But these things will never stop haunting you, as you can see through this spread, right? Because we're talking about what your regret is at the end. Okay, so it never lets you go. You might as well try to end the suffering and take the steps. Which is worse, I'm getting here. You have to decide which is worse. Is it worse to take steps and fail and keep pushing to finally get to a success, to finally get to a yes? Or is it more painful to never try and know that you failed because you never even started, right? Listen to your feelings. Don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. I think this is this past, right? But listen to you trying to, I think this other person, for a lot of you, is your own shadow. That thing that follows you around when you take a walk, when you try to climb a mountain. The shadow of the past, of your feeling of, I can't trust that part of myself, because that part always lets me down. This is saying, listen to your true feelings. Listen to the fact that you want this so badly that it doesn't matter what the shadow has to say about it. You believe in yourself enough to fight yourself, to fight your younger version, right, with the Page of Cups, and to head towards success here, okay? Very interesting. For pile number 3, please. For pile number 3, please. Trust, okay? Trust is what has come up. I'll put this up for those that like to screenshot. Trust. I trust that everything will be okay in the end. Partly because I simply know it in my gut, but also because it's way more fun to live with trust and confidence than to be a defensive wiener. That's kind of funny. Obviously, I would never call you a wiener, pile number 3. But there's a sense of, let's just play with this. Let's have fun. I'm making up in my mind sharks in a swimming pool, when I know that there are no sharks in the swimming pool. And yet, when I'm in the swimming pool, I look behind me, just in case, on the off chance there's a shark in the water, right? This reminds me of that meme about fears that we have that are completely nonsensical, right? We know when we're in a swimming pool, there's no shark in the water. And yet sometimes we look behind us like, let me make sure there's nothing behind me, right? You're making up sharks in your mind that don't exist. And the balancing act here for you is to trust yourself enough. Trust yourself enough in order to move forward blindly when you don't know the outcome. Once you take that step, the universe will show you the rest of the way. It will keep you balanced on this tightrope that you're walking to live this beautiful life. You have to take the leap. You have to fight for yourself here, okay? You also have peacefulness here at the bottom. I have a peaceful, tranquil, and untroubled heart. This is where I choose to spend my time. I can bring guests, but any person, thought, or event that brings drama or chaos is not invited. My heart is a special property, and I'm going to keep it that way so we can all keep enjoying it, and I can get my security deposit back, right? Again, some of you really do want to travel the world, see the world, right? Some of you really want to live in the mountains. I'm getting like a little tiny home or something like that in the mountains. That's the life, the peace, the tranquility that you're looking for, okay? That would be a big life for you. One where you're completely self-sustaining, I'm getting here, and you can work on your true desires here, your true craft, your true dreams. Maybe you want to write a book in the woods or something like that, or the movie like Into the Wild or something really resonates with you. Song of the Open Road, I'm getting here, Walt Whitman's Song of the Open Road, that could really resonate with you, right? For those of you that want to see the world, that want to live a life that big, right? This is saying trust. And when you trust and when you take the steps and when you appreciate that the struggles that you're going through right now are the offering, when you say, I'm going to fight in spite of, I'm going to trust in spite of, I'm going to move forward in spite of, that's when you reach this place of peacefulness in your life, in your heart, in the end, right? As it says here, I trust that everything will be okay in the end of your life for this particular reading, okay? Very, very interesting. Pile number 3, I'm so curious as to how this reading resonated with you. Do you fear your own power? Do you not trust yourself based off of experiences in the past? And are you afraid to fight? Are you afraid to fight for this life? I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, and what does surrender mean to you in this instance? What do you need to surrender, to let go of, in order to start to climb this mountain, to live the immense life that you were meant to live? As I mentioned in the beginning, Future Spouse Week next week, starting on Monday. So I hope that you join me for those videos. A lot of fun in those videos. So I hope that you join me then and that you enjoy them. I thank you for joining me today, and I hope that I see you again on Monday. All right? Bye-bye.